Welcome to Porch to Portfolio, the podcast where real estate investing and purchasing come to life. I'm your host, real estate expert and broker, Beth Christensen. Whether you're taking your first steps onto the porch of your primary home, looking at your first investment property, or you're a seasoned investor with a robust portfolio, this is the place for you. Join us as we delve into the dynamic world of real estate, where we share expert insights, strategic advice, and inspiring success stories. Our discussions range from finding your dream home, uncovering hidden gems in the market to optimize rental income, navigating financing options, and scaling your investments to secure long-term wealth. The Porch to Portfolio podcast is here to transform your aspirations into tangible assets and watch your real estate dreams unfold, one property at a time. Hi, welcome to Porch to Portfolio. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the real estate market from last year and then where we're going today, and then delve a little bit more into the whole process of being a buyer, whether it's your investment property or whether it's your first time home. We want to make sure that you know how the process is, how it goes, and ultimately the benefit of having somebody work on your side, such as me, the real estate broker. So yesterday, went to a great economist, the California Association of Realtor Economists. 3 different speakers spoke, and the bottom line takeaway is last year was the worst year for real estate sales in the recorded history of California. We were down 47%. And the reason that was, I'm going to say pretty much the interest rates. With our price being so high, I think the average in California right now is $871,000. The monthly payment had doubled from what it was even 6 months ago. So therefore, people were not able to truly afford that monthly payment. So therefore, nobody was putting their home on the market and nobody was selling, nobody was buying. What we've seen this month, which is kind of hopeful, is that rates are down. They've gone down from 8% to right around anywhere from 6.7 to 7%. The Fed did talk. They are saying that they're gonna hopefully have 4 rate cuts. If that's the case, then we should hopefully be seeing like a 6, maybe if we're lucky, we're gonna be in the 5s by year end. But that has not stopped the sales price. Like, our prices are still going up. And you know why? There's no inventory. Nobody wants to sell. All these people right now that got their loans at 2 and 3%, they're sitting still. The only reason they're going to sell is they got a job promotion or unfortunately a divorce, or they are downsizing, which I got to tell you, a lot of the people who want to downsize, they just can't. They can't afford a payment. They're spending the exact same money for a smaller home, so they're going to sit where they are. And then that'll bring us into why they're building ADUs. But that's a subject for a different day. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the process. So you have gone out, you got a good loan, the rates are good, you got your payment, you know where you can afford to buy, so we're going to write an offer. First thing you're going to do is, well, I guess we need to back up. We need to talk about what you need to do before we hit the ground running. So you're going to call me and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Investor, what we need to do is we need to connect you with the best lender out there. At that point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my lender a call. I'm going to give them your name and number, and they're going to call you. Now, when we're talking about loans, the world is open to loans. Every scenario, there's a different loan that's going to fit for you. There's the new Dreamers program that just came out that's going to give some grant money. There's some investment loans that are going to work off of just what your stated income is, which is why we got in trouble in 2008. But there's a lot of stop holds now, so I don't think we'll see a 2008 ever again. But there is stated income. There are loans that are lower down. There's seller financing now. There's what we called back in the 90s, these wraparound loans. So we've become super creative with our financing to make sure that we can get the buyers into these homes. So you're going to talk with the lender. They're going to spend probably 2 weeks with all of your information. Who's your employer, your last 2 years tax returns, pay stubs, what debts you have, what payments you feel you're comfortable with, what payments you can qualify for, and what you're able to pay back. So once that lender, after about 2 weeks, gives me the data and says, okay, hey, they're qualified for $850, we're good to go with the payment, everything's solid, let's get them going. So once our lender gives me all this info, says, hey, you're qualified for $850, you're good with that payment, that lender can get that deal closed on the loan side within about 20 days because you have prepped them with all the data, all the information that they need to close that deal. They're about 20 days, okay? That's really good to know because when we go into an offer, does that seller want a short escrow or do they want a long escrow? So you knowing that in 20 days that lender can close it is going to help us to negotiate what we need to negotiate. So now we're gonna go out and look at houses. Now here's the emotional part, and I'm gonna say it's probably the tricky part. You are going to have to put everything that you want in a home on a piece of paper. Tell me what makes your heart soar, and then we're gonna have to decide what you can eliminate. Because this market is so tight on inventory, you have to be able to eliminate some of your dreams in order to have your big dream of owning a home, which is our American dream. That's what everybody wants. That's what's going to give you generational wealth. That's what's going to help you create the best possible environment for your health, for your future, for your happiness. So we have to compromise, and I hate to do that. But that's just the market today. It might not be the market in 2 or 3 years. So you say, hey, I want a pool home, and I want a single story. Well, I'm going to find you a single story. It might not have a pool. And then you're going to have to go through it and you're going to look. In this market, unfortunately, you're not going to look for your forever dream home. It's not going to be a forever home. So today, the home that you buy today is going to be a stepping stone. It is not going to be your forever home. And that's the mentality you have to look at. Am I okay living in here for the next 2-3 years until the market changes, until I have enough equity, until my personal situation changes, I have more money or have less debt, and I can afford to buy another home? Or until inventory at least opens up. So once we find that home and you're like, I can live here, like we would be happy here. I see an outdoor barbecue every Sunday night here. I love the neighborhood. We're good. The house, you might need to do a little bit of work. Fine, call your in-laws, call your friends. Like, let's get them out and do a little bit of work to make your home the perfect home for you for the short term. Once you love the home, now that's where you need me even more. I will go to work for you, negotiate the best price. So what we'll do is I'll go and I'll pull up comparables. I'll say, okay, this house is listed for $850. The one across the street, same square footage, same everything, little bit more upgraded. It went for $695. Okay, so now we're going to have to work on what the price point is that's going to win you that home. This is, I always have to say it, it's a game, unfortunately, and it's a game of emotions, and it's a game of negotiating, and we do our best to make sure you win, because that's what I do best, is I make sure we win. And once we write that offer, I'm in contact with the agent now who has the home listed. The thing about working with a local agent, an agent who knows that market, they know the agents who work that market. That relationship is priceless, because traditionally, right now, we're seeing anywhere from 7 to 10 offers per home. So let's say I know Jane Doe and she's got the listing. Well, Jane and I go to, our board of realtor meetings together, and Jane and I go to conferences together, and I say, hey, Jane, I'm going to submit to you a buyer, and I'm going to tell them the best story about you. Like, oh my gosh, they own, this amazing dog, and they love the neighborhood. They have a friend 2 doors down, and tell the owners how much they love this home. This home made their heartstrings soar, and they would give anything to start their home life in this property. So we're going to tell Jane that story, and I would say, Jane, you and I have done deals together. Like, Let's do another one. We're going to close this one. My lender can get it closed in 20 days. What does your seller need? Your seller wants a quick escrow because they're moving to Florida? Done. We'll have it done in 20 days. So that relationship with Jane Doe, the real estate agent who has that property listed, is invaluable. So if you have an agent coming, say, from LA County, they don't know Jane Doe. They don't go to classes with her. They're not in a friendship with her. Your chances of getting that home is a little bit less than it is from going with an agent who's local. So now we have, oh my gosh, won the deal. We won that offer process. We are in escrow. So what we do at this point is we celebrate. Like, we just celebrate and then we go to work. So we'll go ahead and, again, I will take care of all these things. As a buyer, you unfortunately are going to be on the other end of a phone call for me to say, hey, the lender needs you to send updated pay stubs. Hey, I need you to meet with me and sign this paperwork. Oh, okay, I'm going to send you some paperwork via DocuSign. I'll tell you what we need to do, when we need to meet, how we need to move forward. So I'll be in total control and communication with Jane Doe, the listing agent, and with you to make sure that it's totally seamless. And how the process goes is I will order a home inspection right away. Now, I've been working with a couple home inspectors for over 20 years. These guys are contractors. They know things that are recalled. They know what to look for. They're going to come out, and it's typically about a 3.5 hour inspection. They're going to check everything from your electrical outlets to the attic joists. So they're going to go the full gamut of this property. And I'll typically have you come the last half hour so that as soon as they're done with the home inspection, they're going to meet with you and tell you everything they found. This is the time where you as a buyer can really look at that home and say, okay, am I willing to take on, a drippy faucet? Or am I willing to take on the fact that the kitchen, garbage disposal is not working? Or maybe there's something more, such as the foundation has an issue, or one of the joists in the attic is broken. So you're going to ask your home inspector all these questions, like, what does this mean? How difficult is this? Is this something that can be easily overcome? And he's going to give you all that info. So now let's say there's 2 leaky faucets and the toilet's running. Well, we can go back. Now is the time we can renegotiate with the seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, you've got some plumbing issues. And in order for us to go forth with this house purchase, will you go ahead and fix those before we close escrow? Now the seller can say yes or no. And that's up to you as to, if they say yes, great, done. We'll make sure all those things are done before close of escrow. But if they say no, are you comfortable moving forward? Okay. And when I have buyers who will say to me, oh, this whole kitchen needs to be redone, and that's going to be like $130,000, and it's not worth it. To that, I'll say, no, it's not. It will never be $130,000 unless you're putting gold fixtures, like real gold fixtures, on there. What it is we're just going to get somebody out to give you a quote. We always think it's going to be a lot more than what it really is because we don't know. Like, we don't know what a kitchen remodel goes for if you've never done a kitchen remodel, or what is a repipe on a house going to look like? So we're going to get quotes during that time as well, so that you really, truly are informed, you're knowledgeable, and you're comfortable with the condition of the home, what your next steps with the home, and so forth. So now we've gotten through that contingency hurdle. The next one is appraisal. So let's say we think, we had to go up and over asking price. We think that we're the highest priced home that has sold, and you want to make sure for sure that you're not overpaying for the house. Well, that's where the appraisal comes in. The bank has ordered an appraiser who has no alliances to either party. So they don't work for the seller, they don't work for the buyer, they really don't even work for the bank. They do know what our purchase price is, but they're very neutral. So they're going to come in and I'm going to meet with them. And so is Jane Doe, because she wants this deal closed too. So Jane Doe and I meet, and the appraiser, we're going to give them as many comparables to make positive our purchase price on that contract. To say, okay, hey, the people across the street, they sold for less, but this is why ours is better. Or the people 2 doors down sold for more, but we're equal because of these items. So we negotiate with the appraiser. I don't want to say negotiate, there is no negotiations, but we sell our case. We let the appraiser know why we do things. So once the appraiser gets that done, they send it to the bank. Now the bank is confident that what they are lending on is truly the best price. So if they're going to lend on $800,000, that appraisal has to come in at $800,000, okay? If it doesn't, then we go back to negotiating. The thing with the negotiation for price is a little bit different in the fact that the seller wants their price. The buyer wants the house. If the home appraises for less than what the offer is, the seller will typically ask the buyer to come in with cash. I don't recommend this. It is a hard market. I do agree with that. And I do believe that equity is going to be gained at some point. But if you come in with cash to be up and over an appraisal, I just feel like you're putting too much down and it's not going to benefit you in the long run with your monthly payments. I don't feel your equity is going to reach up to that. So what I would suggest, and what we have done, is we get a second appraiser to come out. So I contact the bank and I work with the lender and say, listen, let's get a second appraiser to review that appraisal. 9 times out of 10, we can get that appraisal back at the purchase price that you need. All in all, though, there's going to be a lot of emotions during this time. And I think that's the thing that buyers don't understand is it is really a deal, but to a buyer, it's everything. It's your home. It's your future. It's your finances. And when a buyer can step out of that emotional, and same with a seller, when they can step out of that emotion, they can make the best deal possible for their future. So, and that's why we're here. That's what we do. Once the appraiser's done, now it's just a matter of letting the loan finish doing what they need to do, letting the seller pack up their stuff, and 5 days before we're due to close escrow, we're going to do our final walkthrough. We just want to verify the owner didn't turn that den into a music studio and has destroyed all the walls and drilled through the ceiling. Okay, so we just want to make sure the house is in the exact same position and condition it was when you wrote your offer, did your home inspection, and did the appraisal. Once we do our walkthrough, you're going to go to escrow. You're going to sign all your closing documents. I am here every step of the way to guide you, to encourage you, to negotiate for you, to provide you with the end result, which is going to be the American dream, your home. Thanks so much, and I really look forward to representing you in this coming year in buying your home. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Porch to Portfolio. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode of expert resource and tangible insight for real estate and investing. You can follow us on our social media channels below.